And also, I believe you said that even in regular people in everyday life can go into a hypnosis-like state or trance-like state. I think, for instance, when reading or...
We do it every day. People go in and out of hypnosis naturally 4, 5, 6 times a day without even realizing it. You can be watching television, watching a movie, reading a book, and most commonly it's when we're driving on a freeway.
Now, is that good or bad?
That's actually a good thing, believe it or not. Because what happens with hypnosis on the freeway, do you remember, did you ever drive a stick shift?
Short time, yes.
Do you remember what it was like learning how to drive it?
I'm thinking about an experience I had with a rental car in Europe once where I...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's a tough thing when you're first learning how to do it. You know, you have to step on the clutch, you have to shift it into gear, you have to look in the rearview mirror, you step on the gas, how fast do you go, you know, the whole thing. And it's very confusing for somebody. And the first few times you do it, it's very difficult. But what happens is, over time, the ability to drive, a stick shift, drops into the unconscious mind, like we do with hypnosis, with a suggestion. And so it goes into the unconscious, and what happens is the steering wheel and the stick shift become triggers for the individual that immediately call up the memory of how to drive. And so your consciousness doesn't have to think about it. So
either that or you get killed in a horrible car accident and then you don't...
Well, then that's the near-death experience segment.
That's right. If you saw the previous show that we did with Dr. Walton. It's great how this all comes together in one bigger...
We should have reversed them, maybe. So anyway, what happens here is, when driving along the freeway, you're not even thinking about how you're driving, because your unconscious is doing all the work. It's dropped into the unconscious mind. You're just driving along, and sometimes what happens is you find yourself driving along the freeway, like it's on a Saturday, let's say, and you find yourself halfway to work when you meant to go to the store. And the reason why you went to work is because the trigger is there in the steering wheel. You automatically just go to work when you sit behind the wheel of the car. And so you're not thinking anymore. Now, what makes hypnosis safe for being out on the road is that you're not learning how to drive every single time you're out on the freeway.
I think some people have never learned how to drive when they're out of the...
No, this is true.
That's another story too, but unlicensed drivers.